Well, hello, thought leaders. Welcome to another episode of Ask Dr. Zaino Live. Thank you for being on here. We have a lot of people on tonight already, and we're just getting started. Most people come in a few minutes late, so we appreciate all you being here. Questions already being asked in the chat roll. So if you're watching at chirothoughtleaders.com/ask-dr-zaino, then you're watching live. And if you scroll down below this video, you'll be able to see the chat roll there. Put your questions in there and we'll get to them. We'll be answering questions in just a second. And then this is the week of Chiro Thought Leaders live seminar in Houston, Texas. It's coming up this weekend. It's getting exciting. I've been busy this week getting ready for it, and so I just want to thank all of you who are coming. We are going to have a blast. It's going to be a great time. We're going to grow, and then and we're just going to strengthen each other. So if you haven't got your ticket and you can still make it, go ahead, scroll down a little bit further. You'll see the speakers there, and if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you can get your tickets and you can be there too. Now, I will say, last I checked, we had 6 seats left. So, and I'm not joking about that. We actually have 6 seats left. So if you do want to come, be the first 6 to grab those, because we are maxed out. All right. So, Dr. Zaino, you there, man?
I'm here, Dr. T. How's
Awesome.
everybody doing? Yeah, once again, text your friends, Instagram your friends, Facebook your friends, and maybe get, let them know about the show. They could get on live if they want to, and just let them know about it. We're here to help everybody, even patients. Doesn't matter to me. Just it's an open forum, and we're just going to tell you what experience has brought us, so you don't have to go through some headaches and good tips, all for nothing. It's all
absolutely. Well, you're right on about that, and the first question that we have actually starts off and echoes your statement just now. Says, this is a little off topic of chiropractic. It's perfectly fine. But here's my question. I was curious as to the ratio of macronutrients you've used to help build muscle. And do you use that ratio every day, or do you have different carb loading days, high fat days, or fasting days? I'm 6'3", 185 pounds with 17% body fat, and I would like to get to 200 pounds with 10%. Thanks.
Cool. All right. How much did you weigh, Tabor?
185.
Okay, so
6'3".
So I would just set your protein at about 220 to 240 a day, and you could divide that amongst 4, 5, 6 meals, whatever that is, and then I would make your fats. I would do the carbs. I would start with the same carbs, match them, so 240, and then that puts you at 500. That's only 2,000 calories. And then I would have maybe a tablespoon of healthy fats per meal. So that'll put you around the 3,000 mark, and do that for 2 weeks and see what happens. If you get leaner, then I would start adding carbs. If you're getting full and fluffy, then I would keep the carbs the same and maybe just keep it there and maybe add a little bit of cardio. So the goal is, I keep protein set always. So through bulking or diet, you only need a certain amount of protein. And then I use carbs and fat to manipulate it. So if you're trying to gain, you got to see if you're not gaining the way you want, I would use carbs. And then if you start getting watery and puffy, then I would lower the carbs a little bit and then, play around with the fat. So, I try to keep protein and carbs pretty much the same, and then bring the rest of the calories from fat. The ideal thing is that you're maintaining your weight with the same protein and carbs, and then you could just add more fat, healthy fats. So it's coconut oil, Udo's oil, fish oils, raw butter, egg yolks. And then I like to tweak the fat to lower or expand calories that way. So, and then once a week, I would definitely have one vacation meal. And then it depends. If you're a fast metabolism person, I like to get away with one a week. But for some people, I'll put them on that I work with. I'll put them on 2 a week. Some people 3 a week. All depends on your metabolism. So if you want, you could email me at drczano@al.com what you're eating, and I could just keep a look at it for you, and we'll see what goes on.
Awesome. Very cool. I've learned a lot from Dr. Zaino just shooting the videos that we've been shooting. It's been awesome. Okay, so hi, Chris. I have trouble keeping patients in care for the first 3 months up to their first re-exam. What would you suggest is the best things to keep patients inspired and motivated, and what objective tests other than X-ray do you do to monitor their progress?
Yeah, so right on. So the thing is, you're right. The objective tests don't keep them there. You know, they don't. It doesn't keep. So you got to focus. What keeps them inspired? What keeps them motivated? What gives them hope? What keeps them focused? And that's going to be your advanced workshops every single month. So at least get them. I would rather, if watch this. So if you want to do a re-exam, a re-exam every single month, that'd be good. But it depends on your volume. Once you start getting to a higher volume, I had to drop it out. You know, it's one of those things at a higher volume, like, well, we can't do exams. So, but let's just, if you have a re-exam once a month, or you had to choose to them go into an advanced workshop, that advanced workshop is going to get them more engaged, more focused, more on purpose, re-inspired, right? So an excited patient stays. An excited patient who refers people stays, right? So if you invite them to one of your dinners that you do and they bring a guest, if they go to your nutrition workshop or cancer workshop or whatever workshop you do each month, you know, it's keeping them engaged. So when they're engaged and they feel like they're part of what Dr. Taylor's going to be talking about this weekend, they feel part of the tribe, you're building this culture, then they stay. I totally understand what you're talking about, because if they go to your office for 3 times a week or 2 times a week, and it's just they're getting adjusted, that, you know, they're self-motivating themselves to do it, and willpower only lasts for so long. But if you keep the principle and they really understand why they're there, then you'll keep them long term. For us, we started seeing the fallout between 3 months and 6 months, right? So that's why I dropped the lifetime, just like Dr. Taylor. I dropped down. We start doing lifetime after the first 3 months. We put them right into a lifetime plan. That's the next goal, because we noticed that the 3 to 6 month mark, because what happens? They start feeling better. They went to a couple of talks. They stop doing the things in the beginning that got them excited. So that's why you focus on your daily talk. You know, just really pour love into them. If you're doing re-exams, make sure they do the re-exams. Advanced workshop every month. Stuff you're playing on the videos, the handouts, and invite them to a dynamic dinner. And you will see that go through the roof. So I didn't talk about an X-ray. I didn't talk about an orthopedic test. I didn't even talk about their symptoms getting better. It's keeping them focused on the principle and the main idea.
Yep, absolutely. And I think you're 100% right. It was a great answer. And I've been to Dr. Zaino's workshops, and they're not just a boring workshop in the back of an office. I mean, you know, he's creating a culture in there, and he's doing, you know, fun workshops and engaging people. And that's one of the big things, and I'll talk about it in building tribes, but is you want communication between your tribe members. You want those people to see each other when they get to those events and be able to talk about it, and that keeps them excited. So awesome. So Dr. Zaino, what do you listen to or read and read to stay focused, on fire and on purpose every day?
Good. So I'll listen. So what I listen to, I have a whole audio bank of Reggie Gold, the BJ Palmer audios that you can get on eBay. They're public domain. So I said Sigafus, all his stuff. I have some Dr. DeMartini stuff. I have Anthony Robbins stuff. I have Dick Santos, really good stuff. And, you know, so right there, it's like hours and hours and hours of stuff. Some seminar audios that I went to. I always buy the audios, and I just put on my MP3 player, and it just, you know, that the right audio at the right time is always there. And when I read, so what I was reading, you know, I'll read, I got this book right here. So this, The Greatest Words Ever Spoken by Stephen Scott. So what this is this is just all the red stuff in the Bible, right? So this is only the words Jesus spoke. Right, I just want to know what he said. I want to know him. So I'll read, you know, it's every scripture he spoke. So it's under different topics, such as, you know, Christ's family, or, you know, living in the present. And it's just really Jesus's words on all these subjects. So I'll read a subject there. So that's kind of like my Bible reading. Then I'll read a chiropractic book, maybe a green book. So I had a green book. See, I got it right here. So this was not planned, right? So I had a green book on, you know, a file, and I took it to Kinko's, and I like to hold books. So I really don't like the readers. I like to hold it, and I'm a lefty, right? So You know, I got it on a spiral. So this is, what's the name of this book? Oh, Fight to Climb. This is a really good book. So, I mean, and it's really two of these. So it's like that thick. So I read that. So I'll read a couple pages of that. And then Dr. Tabor and I, we were just talking about this book. Then I read biblical, spiritual, philosophical, and then then the third thing I do, remember, I'm only reading like a couple pages each. So this is not like I'm hours doing this. So spiritual, not religious, spiritual, philosophical. And then here's a book that Garrett Gunderson told me to get, The Confessions of the Pricing Man. Now, this guy, like, this was his life. Companies would hire him to set prices, and he goes over all the psychology on pricing, such as, you know, as chiropractors, when we say, hey, listen, come in the office and it's free exam or reduced exam, you know, he really has an argument that actually devalues your care, where having higher prices, you know, it's just great stuff. I mean, I'm only on page 40, but stuff like that. So I always have a spiritual book, philosophical, and then that book you want to work on, you know, whatever that is. So you know, Garrett told me about that one. So they're the books I do. And then, you know, behind this backdrop, I have all my other books. So I have a queue of books, you know, so buy all the books you want to read and then have them on a queue and then just kind of work through them. So I have no set time that book's going to be done, but every day I chop off a little bit of it. So I'm always working on like 3 books at a time. So, you know, I'll get through those in maybe, you know, 1, 2, 3 weeks, depending. But the audio is always going on in the car and when I work out. So, and today was a tough one. Like, I was listening to audios and I so wanted to hear some music. It was one of those days, but I just stuck with the audios and it was good. I had to hear what I had to hear. So it was, you know, just listen to it, do it daily basis, make it a habit. And that habit alone, I always tell people, that's my most effective. The number one thing I can tell anybody to do is what I just told you right there. Like, if you just did that one thing, according to the things you love, like it would be chiropractic philosophy. If you just did that, and it's just personal growth, I guarantee you would double, triple your life, 100%, just doing those things. If if that would be on my gravestone, I would just put what I just told you right there. That's always been the most impactful thing I've done. And when I get off it, I lose traction really quick. So,
yeah, you know, when you said that, I just thought about last year. I read the most books I've ever read in my life, and I had the best year as far as income and finances go as well. It's probably not a coincidence. No. Question about relationships here. So yep. I had a 2-year relationship and it ended and then my philosophy and purpose on chiropractic did not align with my partner. She did not value my purpose and the importance of health as I did, and I didn't feel that. The relationship could continue. What would you suggest for future relationships, as this had disrupted my focus? What would you suggest for future relationships?
First of all, congratulations on getting yourself out of a toxic relationship. You know, mm-hmm. you gotta share the same values, and this is a very, very important philosophical thing we're talking about, because if you continued and her views or his views on vaccines are different, on taking care of it. I mean, it could be a full-blown war, okay?
Yeah.
So, I mean, my relationship with my wife, as I met Whitney, she had already gone to chiropractic school. She went to chiropractic school for 3 weeks. She dropped out because it was too tough, but at least she had an understanding, and she was always health-minded, right? So that was very good. It was imperative, because I didn't even know the importance of that until we have 2 kids. And they were both born at home in the water, and, you know, they were both unvaccinated, no vaccines. So it's like, I'm thinking, holy crap, you know, how important are our health beliefs and our philosophies for long-term? Because that's stuff that would have really made it or break it. And we saw that. I had a patient that her baby's daddy, right? Well, he has custody, right? That's his kid too. She's no vaccines. He wants vaccines, to the point where he had called HRS or something, and they had the baby taken away, and they brought her to court, and then about the vaccine thing, and the judge ordered her to vaccinate that kid. So I'm telling her, like, go to Barbara Lowe Fisher, you know, fight this, take it to the media, and you know, the lawyer was a wimp and everything like that. But it was like, wow, this is like major stuff. So when it comes to a relationship, you know, you can't be unequally yoked. And I really think the yoke, when they say unequally yoked, is the philosophy. It's not a religion. It's not like, oh, she's Catholic and he's Jewish or right. No. Unequally yoked is certain philosophies that are unnegotiable. And I think as a chiropractor, you have such a strong philosophy in health. It's tough if your wife or husband was a pharmacist. It's tough, and some are. I mean, I get it, but it's like it's tough when those things are there because it's going to come to very important, decisions that need to be made. So if I was dating again, or Dr. Jacques, so Dr. Jacques, he's engaged to an awesome girl, Megan, and he met her at the gym. But Dr. Jacques is a good-looking guy. I mean, he's a guy. He's a guy where girls come up to him all they used to all the time. And but there was Megan where she was great. She had good values, and when she understood the principle, she got it. Just like when you do a report of findings, and there's patients who get it, and there's patients who don't get it. So Megan totally got it. And that was very important for Dr. J. That was a make it or break it thing that she understood. Because this is not an argument you want to have when you have kids. And and they were great together. So all the other crap that they have to work out as a relationship that we all have to work out with our partners, that's easy to work out. But the what I call the unnegotiables, they were set, they were agreed on, and then it built a really good foundation. So it's not many people should fit that, and that's fine because you only want to really get married once if you can. And keep it that way. But I mean, how many divorces? I know plenty of chiropractors that becomes a huge subluxation at home. Is that two different working people, two different philosophies on health, one's supporting things, one's not supporting things, and that subluxation, that fighting at home causes issues. Now, would I say get a divorce over it? Of course not. Try to work it out. But I could see the stress of having no support in certain areas, and I really think a lot of resentment comes through that as well. So I'm blessed, but what I saw with Dr. J, how he went through it, he was hugely highly selective, and if they didn't get it, they were basically out. But Megan totally got it, but she was, I mean, top shelf. As far as who he hung out with the last couple of years, I guess, and she's the one. I mean, she's definitely the one for him, and they're great. But they share other things, right? So he met her at the gym, so they share other qualities together. So she may not be a chiropractor, but she definitely shares the same health philosophy. They both have common hobbies that they enjoy together. Those things are perfect. You don't want to be exactly the same, but you want to have things that mean a lot to you. With things that you would say, these mean a lot to me, you want to make sure the person is supportive of it. So definitely, if you guys are not married, you really want to be super selective when you get into a relationship, because it's the person you're courting for the rest of your life, and they're going to be the parents of your kids. And I've seen too many divorces go so bad. Or how many times that you have a single mom who brings her kid in, and then we can't take care of the kids until the father's totally against it because the mom wants it. It's nasty. When it comes to health, it's a nasty philosophical thing. So hopefully I answered your question. Hopefully the right one's there for you. She will be, and vice versa.
Absolutely. Well, that was a great answer, and that was a tough question. So thank you for asking that.
You met Gina in school, Tabor?
What's that? Yeah, I actually did. I met Gina. She was in the classroom across the hall from me at Parker. So I take for granted the fact that she has almost a stronger will and philosophy than I do, which is awesome. And I'm glad I don't have to deal with that fighting between the two. I've seen that too as well. So okay, so next one. I did a talk at a senior center today. I had 15 minutes. Then my staff went to close them. My staff, who work every dinner talk with me, I use the dynamic dinner, it's amazing, said the info was over their head. It was essentially the same info from my dinner talk, minus some info to make it shorter. My staff said I should dumb it down. Bottom line, we got our butts kicked. Only the main woman who runs the group paid for her appointment and signed up. Any suggestions? Thanks for the help.
I did a senior talk, and the two guys in front of me were sleeping, and they were falling asleep. There was like 6 people total, 2 were sleeping, and that's a tell. I think you did great, right? Yeah, and that's right. Like the staff workers who take care of these old people, they're sitting there, they're hearing the message going, yeah, I don't want to be like that person. So no, you didn't get your butt kicked. You did great, man. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
paying your penance. No, it's the same truth. The message is, it's English is English, you know, if you're straight. Like, you know, a lot of those people, remember, they're on the angle where, you know, I'm too old. No, they don't, you know, it's not really a priority to them. They don't see hope. They're okay with it. They kind of, you know, that's why I always said when I made the avatar for office, avatar meaning that what are our ideal patients? I always said our ideal patients fell between the 25 and 55-year-old range. 25 to 55 was our awesome patients. When that Medicare card hits at what, 62 or 65 rather, Social Security says 65, then you have that kind of older, you know, set in their ways. They're going to you, but they're also going to their cardiologist, and they're still going to their you know, blood pressure doc. I mean, you know, it's just, you're kind of mismatching. You know, you're the younger one, so I think the 25 to 55-year-old range has always worked best. That was a good job at a senior home. Yeah, we never feel we never go in and say we get our butts kicked. You go in, you do a talk. I guarantee you're 15 minutes. If you recorded it and I played it in my office, it would sign people up 100% because it's an easy principle. It's not rocket science at all. And but I never think that you bomb a talk. Just, this is what you do. You go in, like I did at dinner Monday. I go in and I leave knowing that basically the reward, I was okay when I left that room. I was okay with it. Basically, in my mind, I did it the best I could, where I was like, no matter what the outcome is, what I just delivered, I'm okay with. You follow what I'm saying? So the outcome doesn't become the end result. It's the doing, I don't want to say performance, doing the best I can, feeling in the doing, you know, you're in the zone the best you can. And then I was like, man, that was great. I enjoyed that interaction, that you know, work with the people. I was there. So whatever the outcome is secondary. It didn't even matter to me at that point. So whether it be 8 people or 15 or 2, like it didn't change my feeling about the event, because you want to go in there to deliver the message the best you can. You know, if you read even Bible stuff, you know, guys would go into a village and 3,000 people would sign up or, you know, get the message. And some villages, they ran them out trying to stone them. So, but they gave the same message. So you go in, your goal only should be to give the best awesome message you can. And it doesn't even have to be verbatim, just the best message you can, and be okay with that. Be like, hey, I'm okay with that. So whatever happens now after that, after I'm done speaking, it's all bonus. It's secondary. It can't make you feel you're a better doctor or crappier doctor on that day because of the outcome. You can't let that outcome dictate how you perceive yourself, so to speak. So no, you didn't wrong. You did great. You did great. Trust me, you did great.
Yeah, no, I agree. At least you're out there doing talks, sharing the message with people. We had one question that just came in right now, just on that, what you just said. And do you refer those older people out, or do you accept Medicare? How does that work?
We don't accept Medicare. We have a sign that says we do not accept Medicare. I guess so. And then they sign something.
Yeah.
Sorry if I don't know all that stuff. Is right? We don't. What's my sign say? You saw. But yeah, as you see, I really play a role in. We don't accept Medicare. We give them a little Medicare discount, and but the people who come in, I'm not gonna. Yeah, we got some. I get some awesome. I get a couple. They were married. They're going to be married 70 years. We got some awesome older, but these are the people that want to live vibrantly, you know, abundantly. Sure. They don't want to be. So we got some of their minds are sharper than our 30-year-olds that come in. So of course, you know, we do that, but we don't accept Medicare, and they know it. You know, we just. What do they do? That ABN form? They sign that, I think.
Actually, I was going to say that sign that you put in the front, that's brilliant right there, because you're filtering out the ones that are just worried about Medicare. The ones who are really vibrant, wanting that life, and they're like, that sign's not going to stop me. You know, they're going to go right in, and those are the people you want. So
yeah, and I know, guys, I totally know it's a gray area, but Carla, my office manager, maybe you should have her on one of these shows, or we'll do a video on that. She talked to a lady who works with the chiropractic board in Texas, and she talked to the lady who does all the Medicare continuing education online that everybody listens to that he had to take in Texas. So she went to her saying, listen, this is how we're doing it. You know, what do we have to do to not to do it as my friend would say the rightest way possible. So
Nice.
that's so there you go. And if I have to pay a fine, I'll pay it. I don't care. So, but I don't.
Right.
But we haven't there. It's not because now Medicare's not paying me anything. So,
No,
I know John DeVilla would have something to say about that. He's more into that. But Carlos spoke to the lady who actually does the continuing education, and so we're doing whatever she says is okay
right on.
in our town.
Awesome. All right, so let's see here. Question. How much does rehab play into your correction, and what type of rehab do you guys do in the office?
Right on. Okay, so I'll start with it. So rehab's huge just for the way I communicate it is, and just so they understand, because I know if you get neurologically, it's more than that, but I say, listen, the adjustment's correcting it, the rehab in the office is setting it, and the rehab you do at home is holding it. I'm just trying to get them that mind. So just the importance of rehab at different points. So what we do, we have all the we have vibration platforms, extension tractions, head weighting, body weighting. And the home rehab kit, Dr. Tabor actually, created it. It's the neck roll. We have some life curves, which are harder versions. They're kind of sculpted. The wobble cushions. And exercise, like just isotension exercises. There's certain stuff they got to do, and yeah, it's part of their spinal hygiene. We want them to get used to, because it's the whole purpose of doing something about it on a daily basis. So even if they're wobbling or wearing their head weights, checking their email, I want them to get the habit of thinking spine. Like Dr. Tabor said, great. Like everybody thinks teeth every day. The dentistry did a great job. So we want people to think spine every day. So it's just not a roll and just correction of the spine. We just want them to get into the habit of thinking spine every day, which they haven't. They see their teeth every day, but we want them to think spine every day and be part of their life. So,
right on. Yeah, and mine's pretty much the same way. I have 3 stations in my rehab area, and it flows really smoothly. Is the two-way traction, the vibration plates, and then we do postural exercises. We just I put a mat up along the wall so people could stand on the wall, and if they need to do a mirror image exercise, we have blocks. But those 3 stations, and they just keep moving right through. So,
and what they do is all determining by their x-rays, and we do weighted x-rays, like head weight stress x-rays. So that determines what they do. I couldn't,
absolutely.
From those, then we know what's going on.
Right on. Good question. What are the key components in putting on muscle mass in regards to training and diet?
Key components. All right, so you want to make sure you get enough calories. That's it's all diet. Enough calories. All right, to support muscle growth. Then in the gym, the whole thing in the gym, it's just stimulating the muscle. It's just giving the muscle a stimulus. So that could be heavy weights, but I can't lift heavy weights at all. So mine is doing weights in a very slow, eccentric, 4 seconds down, boom. 4 seconds down, boom, constant tension, 4 seconds down. So I make lighter weights feel heavy. The body doesn't know what you're lifting. One way you could increase the intensity is shorten the rest to 40 seconds in between the sets. So there's really no rest. Getting it done, and you want to get it done within 40 minutes to 1 hour and get out, and just kill it, for 40 minutes to an hour. But the whole time after that, it's recuperation. So if you're having good quality organic proteins per meal, a good healthy fat per meal, and keeping your carbohydrates sufficient for energy, meaning that you don't really need, that's the least important, I think, is the carbohydrates, but having proteins, fats, good vegetables, and I would do carbohydrates around or into the workout. So my biggest carb meal is during the workout. I have a shake with fast acting carbohydrates I drink during my training. So I'm actually eating during my training, so to speak. And that's what you do, and you do it consistently. So it really is a consistency thing, but your calories dictate, you eat enough calories so you're gaining weight. And then when you start, like I say, getting fluffy, and you know what fluffy is, you'll start seeing fluffy. And then you start, the training stays the same, the protein stays the same. Then you manipulate carbs and fats, mainly carbs. And then the scale, you'll drop some body fat, and then you get to a point where you like, and if you want to gain again. So I always use carbs and fat to manipulate, but the training will never stop. I mean, I'll be lifting the same weight the week before a show versus, the trade. So that's not really, it's the nutrition is always the key.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. And
Very
I'm
basic.
liking these questions, man. It's a good
Yeah.
night for
Thank you.
questions.
Thank you for giving some like
Yeah.
fresh, crazy, different questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
We had a relationship question, training, practice.
Right on.
Yeah, good.
All right. So, what are your specific points you want to hit when interacting with the community or meeting potential new patients, inquiring if care is something they should begin? I had a great time at a family event Saturday doing posture checks on kiddos and answering questions from their moms, seeing light bulbs go off.
Mhm.
Yet now I'm waiting for them to get into the office! Exclamation point.
Yeah. So, right. So, start in the beginning. So it's like my chiropractic pickup line. So if you haven't seen that video, the chiropractic pickup line is this. Most people will ask you, what do you do? And you say, I'm a chiropractor. And they're like, oh. And I realize when they say, oh, they have no freaking clue what you do. So I just turn back to them and say, so, okay, so what do I do? And then it just throws them off. They're like, what do you do? I'm like, yeah, tell me what I do. And then you get to see, this is very important. You get to have, this is what I call point A of reference. You need a place of reference, right? This is what you want. You crack backs, you do herbs, you do massage. Like you'll be amazed when you say, okay, I'm a chiropractor. They say, oh, so tell me, what do I do? And you really get point A of what they have no clue what chiropractic is. And you say, listen, I'm glad I asked you that question because people are sick, suffering, dying, and over medicated because their doctor never told them what true health really was and how to achieve it. And then boom, you right into it. Go, for instance, what is health? And I want to know what they think health is. Because now I got to give them to chiropractic. How do we fit in? Because they think chiropractic is cracking the back. I go, so most, what is health? What do you think health is? And they'll say, well, it's, how we look, or I'm eating right, or exercising. I'm like, I go, yeah. I go, so if you're on that roadmap thinking, I'm driving along a highway of health saying it's just how I look or how I feel, I go, here's the problem with that. I go, when you have cancer and heart disease, 5 or 6 people die of those, can you have cancer and not feel it? And people will be like, yes. Can you have heart disease? What's the first symptom of heart disease? It's usually a heart attack. So you show them the biggest disease killers are things that you feel or don't feel. Like, well, we don't feel. I'm like, yeah. So here, if you're driving on that road thinking health's how you look, how you feel, you're driving with a huge nail in all your tires, and you don't know about it. It's a huge blind spot. And you explain to them that medications covering symptoms, does that make you healthy? They're like, well, no. And you explain what health is. It's 100% function of the body. So it controls function of the body. And this is all live. We're doing it lifetime, right? This is how quick it should take. They're like, it's the nervous system or the brain, right? And you explain the brain and the spinal cord nervous system as you do so well. And then you talk about subluxation. If there's damage in the elbow, it won't work. It'll get sicker. And be like, now, if you were to correct that and take pressure off the nerve and life is restored to those organs or that tissue, what's going to happen? Like, it'll get well. And you say, well, get it well part of the time or 100% of the time? They're like, they'll get well all the time. That's a law. And you go and you tell them, well, that's exactly what chiropractic is. I go, so here, and I bring it back to point A. So here you thought the chiropractic was, I'm cracking someone's back, but I'm removing interference so you could heal and function at your optimal capabilities. I go, so who needs that? And they're like, well, everybody does. And then you just go, so what, have you been checked? When's the last time you've been checked? And they'll tell you never or none, or 3 months ago I went to one after a car accident. And if they say, well, did they tell you this? Well, no, I never heard this. I go, so now we need to get you in immediately. So just like a dinner, take out your phone and you book them right there. Now we give them a call because the law of diminishing intent kicks in. So of course, in that moment, yes, they want to come in. It makes sense. So just like someone asked before, I had 15 minutes. How can I do? I go, I could do a talk in 4. So you got to get them booked in or committed to something. Say, listen, here, I got my schedule here, and you book them. And say, listen, I got you here. You write it down. Be like, but before I make this appointment, you got to be 100% committed that you're coming in, because I don't want to put you in and that's an hour, that's blocked time away from someone else that needs it. Oh no, so you kind of like close them hard on the commitment, and you get a sheet of paper, give them the time to coming in, and say, listen, what's your email? Say, I'll send you the paperwork, because you want to make sure the paperwork's filled out. Then you get them. So I would do, yeah, you don't have to, if it's a family person, don't charge them, whatever. But I did that one time in a family, and I sent them to Rob Vasquez's office. It was in Dallas. So you could do it wherever you are. If you get on that subject, you get them in immediately. Just don't be like, because you're out of town. Or if you have family that are locally, you get them in. You get them in the office ASAP. So just get it on your calendar, give them an appointment, make it formal. I think that's Tabor, that's kind of been a little bit of an issue I've been seeing with a lot of docs the last 2 or 3 episodes is everybody has great intention. Everybody gets it. Why do they get it? Because everybody does a really good job at it. and they get it. The light bulbs do go off, but you leave them hanging, or they say, "Listen, I'll call you. I'll get around
Right.
to it." But your talk is not done. The talk is done when they walk into your door. So
Yeah.
it's like you need to close it, charge them at the dinner, get their credit card, charge the appointment, get the appointment done. If it's family thing, you don't want it to whatever. Here it is, right? Get a solid hard commitment on the appointment. Get them in, because after they leave that conversation, then the intention goes like this. They mean well, but then all the distraction of life and what's on Pinterest and Facebook, and they lose it after
Yeah.
that. So
I agree. We don't even, we do a lot of screenings, and we don't even consider them, an appointment or anything until they've paid, because as chiropractors, we just want to help. And then when we have a good conversation with someone and they take our card, we feel like we accomplished something, and in some way you did. I mean, maybe you shared the message with somebody that later on, maybe they'll use that, and that's commendable too. But as far as your business goes, it's moving them towards that actual sign the appointment and give you the money before you're really going to be able to. And even then, you could probably only depend on about 90% of them showing up after they pay you a pretty good amount for some reason. Like you said, Dr. Zaino, in one of our last shows, it's just today's day and age, we're so distracted. You could pay $150 for an exam, and then, all 100 things show up the next day, and they miss their appointment, So,
I mean, the fact that you have the heart. I mean, the heart is the most important.
It
And
is.
the fact that you have a great heart and you have a passion, that can't leave. You always be successful with that, and people will always like, and you will be a leader, but you have to lead them fully, and lead them fully is getting the appointment, getting a heart. Like, listen, I'm about to make an appointment. I need to know, you need to be 100% committed to this, because I'm about to make an appointment, and you need to show up to that. Oh yeah, because you have nothing to lose. Oh no, just let them know that you're serious, and that's it. Because I don't even have cards. I don't have cards. I've never bring cards. Do you have a card? And be like, no, we're here for people who want to take care of their health right now.
Sure. Well, and I'll say too that she mentioned she was doing it maybe at a pediatric or at a kids fair, and just like doing it at a senior center, you're going to have a little bit more challenge in that, just because there's not as much urgency there for kiddos, even though they should. But some moms will do what they learn in a Facebook group before they would do what you told them to do. For some reason, it seems like.
Yeah, just get them in. I mean, you're not. Just get them in. That's it. Just like the full closure is the appointment booked and committed for that appointment. Whether it be committed, a hard commit, or if you want to charge, which I would, that's even better. Charging is a commitment. It's not, you're not making a living off of $40 or $150.
No.
That's just an exchange, and it's a commitment. It's putting some skin in the game so they show up. That's all it is getting them committed.
Right on. All right. So do you want to answer one more?
Yeah, let's do one more.
We can do this
I can do this all night.
Know.
This is fun.
Absolutely. Okay. How do you address patients that live a toxic lifestyle? Example, sitting 12 hours for a day, won't exercise, don't eat well, but they're committed to chiropractic, yet complain about pain all the time? Good question.
That's a great question. It's just look at it as a formula, right? So, you get all these toxic lifestyles. They're sitting all day. They have the head forward posture. They probably don't do their home rehab. They eat like shit. They don't exercise, right? I'm going to go a couple ways on. There's the BJ's to talk about survival value. Survival value meaning that, you're getting adjusted. That's positive survival value. You eat right. You think correctly. These are all positive survival values. And eating crappy, drinking, drugs. It's like, so at the end of the day, you want to have more things in your life than you do in your positive survival values. So it's a formula. So what were they like before they came in your office? They were sitting down all day, eating crap, not getting adjusted. So that got them, that formula, whether they know it or not, or the blind spots in their life, got them to that sick point of pain and all this other stuff. So what they did is they added a habit of getting adjusted to clear the nervous system. Boom. All right. Huge. And just that alone, they changed the formula, so they're getting a different result. But now if they cleared the nervous system, and now they're eating healthier building materials that the nervous system can use to rebuild itself, right, with healthier tissue. The formula changes for even better. Then they're moving. James Chestnut said that our genome is to express motion, right? So we start to move, right? So we're doing our spinal exercise at home, right? We're getting rid of some stressful relationships. Boom. You see what I mean? So when they start changing variables of that formula that got them sick, and now they add these good habits, just like a law of gravity in chiropractic, or the principle of chiropractic, then that solution, that formula changes, and those habits on a daily basis will always yield a better result. So, but pain, we can't go by pain. That could be a number of things. It could be the body healing. That could just be, who the hell knows what the pain's coming from. But just the fact that if you could get your body healing and functioning at a better potential, you're better off. So are you better off having pain with all these variables that are decreasing your survival value, or having pain doing all these variables that are helping you have a positive survival value? So that's what I said. So would you rather have back pain subluxated or back pain unsubluxated? Meaning that, do you want life flowing and maximum potential in your body, or do you want to have pain with it not flowing? So it gets to that just basic principle that if they do and take charge and responsibility of their health and add these habits, it's only helping them. Like Dr. Fred was saying before, it's like it's their disease, it's their body, it's their life. They're the only ones holding themselves back. You're not telling them this for nothing more than for them to live the goals and dreams that they want to live. So they have to do it for themselves. But I explain it in a formula, just like your formula has gotten you here. You changed the variable chiropractic. Now imagine if we just change these other variables now, that formula changed, so you're going to have to get a different outcome, which will be health and healing, and it's way better than you're doing now. So even for the basic approach that if you just did these things, you'll be better, and it's 100% of the time. No one's going to imagine, like I've never known someone who got adjusted, ate better, moved, and got bad emotional stuff out of their life ever get worse. It's because it's impossible. You can't. And just going on, like you're a thought leader. You're just saying, listen, I don't care how much you exercise a day. I don't care if it's you walk to them. Do something in these areas, and you will be better. Like a month from now, you'll be better because you just did something that you weren't doing here. So it's like just really get into like such a basic. Hey, I mean, because a lot of people see it's overwhelming, right? Oh, you want me to eat? I mean, I could get adjusted because adjustment is quick, right? It's almost like, but I got to exercise. I got to eat like this. I got to, and it's overwhelming. But for some people, you got to just like baby step them. Like, can you walk? Yeah, okay, I'll try walk. I mean, it really is that dumbed down.
That's exactly right.
Right, you just baby step them to it, but make sure they know, hey, listen, this is your life, and I'm not doing this to be a pain in your ass. I'm doing this because you're the one who said you wanted to accomplish all these things on your goals, and I'm your thought leader to make sure you get there. This is what you wanted, right? Oh,
yeah. Right on.
And you know what? And those older people at the senior center, you're so locked in. That's right. They're so locked into that. They're like, they don't change anything. It's like they go in and get adjusted, but they're like, they're so set in their ways that they're like, hey, this is the way I lived for 60 years. Why change it? So when you have that person that's willing to change the formula of health, which you deliver, so that's why it's so easy, guys. Like what we do is so easy. It's amazing when someone says, "Oh, I don't believe in this." It's like, I mean, how do you like? I don't know. I don't know how to take that. I'm like, I don't know. Is it like I don't understand how it's so easy. Yeah. And I think it is sometimes too easy, and we make it complicated. Don't make it complicated. Just say it's easy. You do this, and challenge it. Be like, hey, listen, get rid of like how people do. Wasn't like Lent just recently, or Lent's going on, right?
Yes,
so
right now.
Change for 40 days. Be like, hey, listen. Okay, well, for the hell of it, just do these little things for 40 days, and let's talk about it when you're done. Because all you need is to see momentum. They're like, oh yeah, I'm doing better. I lost 8 pounds. It's like, so, sometimes they just need a little goal. I think it's too overwhelming, and they just need a 1 week goal, a 2 week goal. And unfortunately, most people are like that. I mean, not many people are like you, or I'm talking to all of you on the line, because the fact that you took the time to listen and look, I mean, you're already, there's what, Tabor, 30,000, 40,000 of the chiropractors that were too busy or didn't take the time or don't know about it.
More. Yep.
So just think, you're just like, so you're the exception to the rule. You're the great leaders because you're someone that people could look up to because you have built disciplines and habits in your life, and they're so good in your life, and you function so much better on that. You look forward to them. And most people, they don't know that. They haven't tried it. It's overwhelming. So you got to kind of empathize and put yourself into their brain a little bit and say like, wow, this is a person who's never done anything for themselves. They've been taking medication. They do what everybody else has been doing. And so what is the one step I could have them change? What is, one thing? And it's slow. It's at a snail's pace. And you almost think that how imbecile, this is like stupid. I can't believe, but that one little step is really what they need. It's one step at a time because listen, they've done nothing for their health or life. And you're the first person and opportunity that's going to lead them to get there. So
awesome.
Cool.
Yeah. One thing, just throw this in real quick. One thing I've noticed is that we're in our society, we're so cause and effect that they don't realize that exercise and diet would actually help them feel better. So one thing I do is I'll say, Mary, there's a lot of inflammation right here. We're having this pain. So I need you to stay off the sugar for a week for me. And so it'll help that inflammation. And then that kind of like ties it in with her pain a little bit. Or I need you to drink water, a glass of water, and go for a walk every day. We're trying to rehydrate those discs in your low back, and I think tying it in with one little problem or symptom kind of gives them a little bit more motivation, it seems like. So awesome. Well, what a wonderful night of questions. And there's a few more, but what I'm going to do is I'll take those, put them in the archive, and we will pull those out and make sure that we can. Yeah, we'll start with them next week. And I appreciate every one of you for being on here, and hope we'll get to see you this weekend at the CTL seminar. It is going to be awesome. If not, we will see you on the other side of the seminar next week, Wednesdays, 8 p.m. We're right here live. All right, Dr. Zaino, anything?
Thanks, guys. I'll see you next week. Tell everybody. We'll see you.
Awesome. Later, guys.